But like everything that Natalie Portman was doing, I was like, I could so imagine. Like even like when she just like is like rehearsing in the room, like looking at herself in the mirror. I'm like, we all do that. Like you read a scene and then you like go, and then you like say it out loud, or like whatever. Yeah, I thought it was like really beautiful, and doing it through the lens of an actor versus doing it through the lens of like an a police officer or like whatever. You really can have someone asking really like personal questions with no need for a filter, because you can just be like, oh, if you're not comfortable, like that's fine. Whereas when someone's coming in like and investigating something and they have an agenda, then there's immediate reason for someone to have a guard, you know what I mean? But it's just like she's living in their house and like sitting in the places that they sat, and like, yeah, it's just like a really clever way of getting under the skin of Gracie.
Would you have liked to have known more about Elizabeth? Because we don't know her outside of this context at all.
I don't think I minded not knowing her outside of the context.
Yeah.
I mean, the context is that she's obviously really famous and known, and everywhere she goes, people know who she is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is this true? I'm just thinking of my own, right. I don't know if I loved Natalie Portman's performance or if I was like blown away by it. But I don't know if that's her fault or if that's just because the character I just didn't feel like like I said before, I just don't think she had much of an arc except for learning about Gracie, which is fine. Maybe that's all she was meant to do, which is great. Actually, you know what? I think delete that.
I'm going to change my mind.
Because I've just thought that monologue that she does at the end to camera, I thought was really, really bloody good. So, shut up.
Do you think that it was hard maybe to connect with her because you feel like she's the sane one and then she starts to lose grip and you're...
That's true. She does lose grip. Yeah, maybe I'm being unfair there. She does kind of like, she's really... No, I think throughout she's really poised. And like she walks into a room and she never falters or is never nervous of asking a question to one of these people that she's around. And Maisie, you just said that if you were doing that, that could be quite scary to do. Mm-hmm. But she never seems scared. Her character never seems scared to ask a question or by being surrounded by these people. And maybe that's what I didn't love about the performance, because I was like, this seems so easy for you.
Well, there's no vulnerability, is it?
Yeah, maybe it was that.
But like for that to be like Elizabeth as a character, it's like there's a certain... This can be debated, but like there's a certain ego that comes with
That's true.
Playing a real person, whether it's a biopic or like... There's a certain amount that you have to back yourself to be like, yeah, I'm going to go into this person's house and I'm going to take their life and I'm going to like ask these really personal questions so as I can understand like my motivation, so as I can go and perform and be hailed as an actor and celebrated as like my greatest life achievement. And it's like, you're just taking someone's life, and like this is someone's actual life, you know? So there has to be a certain disconnect from empathy in order to be able to do that, because you're going to have to form your own opinions about someone in order to understand their motivations, because they're not coming from within in a way that's like accepted and understood and loved. Like the line of her questioning is so like, you're insane. Why are you insane? And of course, Gracie, in Gracie's eyes, is not insane. So how can an actor who already has this judgment of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see it all the time. Like, you know, I think the show that I have just been in, The New Look, we talk about Coco Chanel, and hearing Juliette Binoche, who plays her, really try to understand the decisions that Coco Chanel made, which are things that like none of us would agree with or do. But you have to, as an actor, like you have to remove all of the sort of like judgment to try and understand a person, but you're still always going to have like that bias. But, you know, Coco Chanel is no longer with us and there's a bit of distance from the past, and like, you know, it's kind of a bit of a different setup. But yeah.
It's like she's gone into this house trying to have empathy so she can understand the character in order to be able to play them and know where the intention is coming from. But at the end of the day, you're going in there for selfish reasons and it is exploitative.
Yeah. Totally.
And
then she
Joe
sort of went,
says it.
Joe
says it. He's like, because she talks about him as a character to him, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then he's like, what? Like, this is my actual life. And that's so true. I feel like I've full on 360'd in my thoughts there. Yeah. Mad.
Yeah, I do know what you're saying though. I think that she's a bit of an unreliable like lead in that you don't know, she's unpredictable and you don't know what she's going to do. And she also doesn't like, we don't side with her and we don't empathize with her because we don't see any vulnerability. And that's like how we empathize with people.
Yeah.
But it makes sense when you talk about it in this way that, that's what she would have to do.
And then she's just like flicking through casting tapes, like.
Which was vile.
Yeah. Weird.
Seeing those young boys.
Yeah. But like, that's the thing. It's like, there's no mirror to herself.
Yeah.
And her morality in this whole thing. And instead we're interrogating these people who are just like, you know, living quite a very honest life. It's not something we agree with, but like, it is a very honest, you know, they've never hidden like their agenda or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I'm siding with anyone, but
No.
I just like, it's an interest. This is the sort of layers that this movie has brought up, I think,
Yeah.
which is what makes it a good one.